Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about basically 5 of the main tips to inspire shiny hunting, to basically reduce burnout from basically doing the same thing over and over again. If you're brand new to PokeMMO, this is the game I'm playing, shiny hunting in this game is very, very repetitive. I'm just going to show background footage. Basically, I'm here in Unova on, what is this tower? Celestial Tower, yeah, sorry. I'm here in Celestial Tower going for a shiny Litwick. And so basically it's very repetitive. You're going to notice this is only like 10, 12, 15 minutes. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but this is 10, 12 minutes, and you're probably going to be like, wow, this looks very boring. Especially if you've never played PokeMMO before. Guys, this is what shiny hunting is. And the funniest part, this is the easiest way to do it, right? A 5 times horde is your best shot of getting a shiny Pokemon. There's like 3 times hordes, there's single encountering, there's egg hunting, there's, breeding. Yeah, there's a lot of like fossils too. There's like various ways of doing things that are way, way more difficult and way more expensive than this. And yeah, this is the most basic. This is just, shiny hunting is not for everyone. I just want to preface before I get into the tips. A lot of people are just like, they hop on PokeMMO, they finish the storyline, they're like, okay, what do I do? Let's go for a shiny. They go for like 2, 4 hours, 5 hours, and they're just like, dude, this is so boring. I can't do this anymore. And that's fine. That's not for everybody. But it's important to just know that like this game is just not for everyone. A lot of people are just like, oh, I like Pokemon and, I like grinding, but then they like grinding with a sense of purpose, I feel like. And I feel like the shiny hunting is very fruitless until you get that shiny. And for some people that could take, 5 hours. For some people that could take 500 hours. Some people that could take 5,000 hours. Okay. It's a long grind. It could be a long grind. And so a lot of people just get burnt out beforehand. And so, yeah, this video is to hopefully inspire you to not get as burnt out and to kind of help your mindset as you go. So hopefully you enjoy. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new to the video. Let's get into it. All right, my first tip is going to be to remember the odds, okay? Every single encounter, whether it's your first encounter ever in touching this game, or it's your 500 millionth horde. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but yeah, 500,000, 500 millionth horde, or single encounter, it doesn't matter. Your odds every single time is 1 out of 30,000. And so, my encounter counter here on top right of your screen, people are like, oh, okay, you're like, 7,000-ish away from a shiny. In theory, yes, on average, but you don't want to look at it like that, because every single time I hit the button of Sweet Scent, I still have a 1 out of 30,000 chance. And around my 30,000th encounter, it's like, okay, yeah, it's probably around here, but it's not guaranteed, right? The point is that you kind of have like a baseline of where you should kind of be around, but that does not entitle you to the fact that like, oh, I hit 30,000, where's my shiny? I hit 40,000, where's my shiny? I'm late. Like, it's a way to track like, okay, maybe I'm like a little late to it. Maybe I should be expecting it more than before. But again, you shouldn't even really think about it like that. You might want to think about it like that in terms of like time and energy, but you shouldn't think of it like that. Oh, the game owes me. It doesn't work like that. Every odd is still the same, 1 out of 30,000. My second tip for newer players is to start easy. Start with a 5 times horde, something like this, but even easier, because what I'm doing here is using Lepa berries. I would recommend well, I guess technically it is easier, but you do have to spend more money. There's plenty of free shiny hunts. I'm actually making a video probably soon of like the best like free shiny hunts in the game. Probably going to cover each region and go from there. And then obviously, if you haven't already, hotkey your Sweet Scent move, basically your keybind. And I would also recommend like hotkeying teleport if you didn't do that already. It's much easier to stay sane for a first time shunter, because then you could just hit like a few buttons and kind of go about your day rather than like locking in. And speaking of that, my third tip is to make shiny hunting passive. Do other things at the same time, right? Watch TV, watch Netflix, listen to music, watch an anime, watch a movie. There's plenty of things you can do on the internet. Get a second screen. If you don't have a second screen, use your phone, FaceTime a friend or something like that. It's supposed to be like pretty passive, pretty mindless, at least, the shiny hunting that I'm doing, that I'm portraying, for the most part, right? If you're an experienced shiny hunter, you're probably not really needing this video. This video is mainly for newer guys and girls. But yeah, if you're, just getting into 5 times hoods, if you're looking for like, okay, what should I start shiny hunting? What are lepa berries? Where are you in this game? Like if you're kind of like newer to the game, this video is more so for you. So consider watching, a show and, talk about it with your friends and stuff like that. I don't know. I think another recommendation I would give, tip number 4, is to hunt with friends, join a team, Discord, things like that. Share your wins and losses. It's a lot more motivating if you see like a buddy of yours get a shiny and you're like, you're like 50,000 encounters deep and you're just like, oh, this is so hopeless. But then your friend who's like 100,000 encounters just whips out like a shiny Riolu or something like that. You're like, dang, dude, I want that now. And so you start shiny hunting even more, even harder. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think that's a lot of encouragement. And I think a lot of good can happen from hunting with a friend, from hunting with your team and, kind of inspiring each other on like, okay, I'm going to hunt this next. I want the whole line of shiny Eevees. I want the whole starter gang, like I want them shiny. I want a shiny gym run team. I want a shiny sweet center. I want a shiny, flame body Pokemon. There's a lot of things that are like specific to hunt for that a lot of people go for. Me personally in this video, I'm going for a flame body Pokemon. So I can kind of flex while I'm like hatching eggs in the future. So there's a lot of things you can go for. And then there's a lot of inspiration if you don't know what you want to hunt. There's also a website that basically like shows you every shiny Pokemon out there. And so, that could be kind of useful. That could be kind of fun to go through. And do with that if you want to as well. My last tip here is to do other encounters like EV or leveling to help boost your encounters. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive. I don't mean boost your encounters as in like, oh, if you get through like 20,000, you're more likely in the future. I guess I can show this chart. It's like a binomial distribution chart. I don't really understand 100% how it works, but basically like, the percentage is higher the more encounters you go up. Obviously that makes sense. And around a certain point where it's like it really kind of skyrockets a little bit. And so I'm not saying get to 30,000 encounters and then your chances of shiny is like way higher or anything like that. Again, it's still 1 out of 30,000. I don't want people to like misread that. What I mean is, if you do other encounters like leveling a Pokemon up, EV training stuff, it helps to kind of pass the numbers by versus like staring at, starting, like say I was doing Litwick, right? I would start at 0 and see 20,000 or 30,000, being in the same exact spot. That's like what, 20 hours, like 25 hours. It takes a long time for you to do that. It takes a lot of time and like it kind of could stress you out, just being like, oh, I've been here for like 30 hours. I've been here for like 2 weeks in real life time. And like, there's no progress and nothing to do. I think switching it up, like doing some leveling, get to like 5,000 encounters, then do like shiny hunting of a Pokemon, get there to like 10K encounters, then do some like EV training. Again, at Pokemon, like at spots you want, like don't do like leveling at Tentacruel if you really don't want a Tentacruel, obviously. And then do other encounters like EV train for like 2,000 encounters, maybe single encounter hunt for 1,000. Then go back to like your Litwick for another 5,000 encounters. Switch it up. Get in the mindset of like, oh hey, there's other things out there than just this, and it can kind of help you keep sane. That's mainly the point of this video for newer players, to just kind of help you keep sane. Because let's be honest here, shiny hunting is very repetitive and it's very, very fruitless. You're not going to see any fruit until you get that first shiny. But the good thing is once you get that first shiny, the floodgates will kind of be open and you'll be like, okay, it is possible in this game. Before I wrap up the video, 2 quick things. Get mods. I'd recommend an HD battle sprite mod if you are looking for it, because again, if you're kind of like getting groggy, if you're kind of getting really tired, it can kind of grow to look the same. Especially things like Poliwag, they really don't look the same. Now, there's no harm in like running from it, because the game will basically stop you like, oh hey, are you sure you want to run? Or if you're trying to kill it like Earthquake or Discharge, it'll be like, oh, are you sure you want to use this on a shiny Pokemon? And so it kind of gives you a warning, which is very smart of the PokeMMO devs at this point. But at the same time, I would consider getting a mod, right? An HD battle sprite mod. I'll show a picture right now that basically shows how do you want to call it? It basically shows this shiny way easier, so you really can't miss it if you're like completely like zoned out. And then my last tip is to take breaks from shiny hunting, right? Like I said that you could take breaks from shiny hunting, but keep doing encounters. I would say even if you want to, just go make money, go do gym runs, go to the actual gym, go watch a movie, go hang out with friends, go play another game. Like there's so many things you can do to stay sane that are not just glued to the screen, hitting the same like 2 buttons over and over again, because obviously you're gonna get tired at some point. You're gonna get burnt out at some point. I used to watch these like PokeMMO streamers, basically stream for like 12 hours a day, and they would basically get like what 10-12,000 encounters, and then like get nothing, and then like wrap it up for that day. And it feels so bad, you know what I mean? Like it just feels like you didn't do anything. But I know obviously you're like getting like quote unquote closer to a shiny, but it just feels kind of bad, you know. Sometimes I'm not saying don't do that, but you know, to stay sane, I'd recommend, you know, taking breaks here and there, especially when you need to, you know, don't be afraid to do that. But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you learned anything, if you enjoy this kind of content. You know, this channel is really just a PokeMMO channel that I want to talk about shiny hunting. I want to talk about money making and, you know, different kinds of strategies to help you improve as a player, get more guides out there as well. I will be trying to do 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're going to try my best to stick to that for the foreseeable future. It'll be tough, and sometimes I might miss a day or two, but I'm going to do my absolute best here to stay committed, because I do want to grow this channel. You know, we just hit 2,800 subscribers. Thank you so much for that, guys. And yeah, join the Discord down below. And what else is there? Leave a comment if you have any questions, if you have any other tips for any players. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace, and peace.